division is simply a fundamental mathematical operation that involves splitting or dividing numbers or items into different groups. Now, for a child to solve division and understand division is very important. Please stay with me and understand this concept, which is called dividend. Call it dividend. Then another one that the child should understand is called the word divisor. Divisor. Then the third one is called quotient. It's called quotient. Then you can also add this one to it. Maybe let's just put it there. Remainder, which is per se the leftover number. So I'm going to explain this by expressing it through a question. Now look at this question. Now if we have this question, we have 120. Of course, 120 divided by 10. Now if we look at 120 divided by 10, 120 divided by 10 is same thing. You can also rewrite it as 120 over 10. It's the same thing. Now if you look at it this way, of course we see this 0 cancel these zeros. Our answer here is 12 over 1, which is the same thing as 12. So I'm going to express these three concepts using this question. So in this regard, we'll look at 120 is what? It's our dividend. It is a bigger number that is being shared. Then we'll look at 10. 10 equals to what? Divisor. That is the smaller number to the dividend that is being used to divide the dividend. That is the divisor. When we talk about 12, which is the answer, is our quotient. So our answer is definitely our quotient. So if I say find the quotient of 120 divided by 10, what I'm basically asking you to do is to solve it and get the answer. So by understanding that, it makes it easy for you as a child, as an adult, to understand solving division. Then you can also have remainder in case if you have, let's say for example, if this is 121, if this is 121 over 10, of course we know 10, we do 121 12 times, then we have remainder 1. Like in this case, if this is 121, let me express it, 121 divided by 10. So we know that 120 divided by 10 equals to what? 12. Then we use our R to represent remainder 1. That is why this remainder is reflecting here later. Now, the first part, long division, we are having two categories. Long division, that is dividing 3 digits by 2 digits. Now without remainders. And that means what we are working on the first group of dividing. Now let's go for solution. Let's go for solution. Now, what about our solutions? Now the first one, let's look at the first one here now. How do we solve this? Let's pick the first one. So we will just have to partition the board. Okay. Now let's have the first one here, which is the first one. We have 108, and in this case, we know 108 is our dividend, 15 is our divisor, while our answer we are going to solve for is our quotient. Now you can do this, then you do this. So what do we do now? We bring our dividend inside, which is 180. Then we bring our divisor outside here. Now the formula I always recommend, or the step that makes it easy peasy for children, is to follow what we call the DMSB. DMSB. Now this is just an acronym I always advise children to follow. In that, the first D stands for division, the M stands for multiplication, the S stands for subtraction, while the B stands for bring down. Then you bring down the next number. Let's check and apply it to these questions. So let's follow the first step, which is step 1 for this particular question. 180 to be divided by 15. Now, we look at it this way. How many times can 15 go in 18? That is, to divide 18 by 15, it can only go once. Now, how many times can 15 go in 18? It can only go once. Easy. Now, let's move to the next level, which is what? To multiply. So, 15 times 1 will give us 15. We'll write it underneath this. Then we'll move to the next level, which is S, subtraction. 18 minus 15 equals to what? Equals to 3. Then we'll move to the next step, which is bring down. That is, we have to bring the next number down, which is what? The next number is 0. Then we go back to the first step, which is D. 15 or 30 divided by 15 will give us 2. Then we say 15 times 2 will give us 30. Then we subtract. 30 minus 30 will give us 0. So you can see the answer is 12. Following our DMSB. Then let's move to the second question. Still using DMSB, that is 156 to be divided by 12. Let's follow our DMSB. Easy peasy steps. Now, 12 in 15 can only go once. Then move to multiplication. 12 times 1 is 12. Then you subtract. 15 minus 12 give us 3. Then to the last step, which is what? Bring down the next number, which is 6. Then we say 12 in 36. 12 in 36 will give us 3, because 12 times 3 is 36. So 12 times 3 is 36. Then what do? We subtract. So we know 36 minus 36 will give us 0. So our answer is absolutely 13. 13. So as we continue this, so let's move into dividing 3 digits by 2 digits with remainders. Come along, let's do this. All right. So for this now, we have our solutions. Now let's break it down. So we'll do it in twos like we did the other one. Question 1, following our DMSB as usual. All right, let's look at the first question given here is 345, which is our dividend, 345, and our divisor is 12. So we are looking for our quotient. Now let's look at this. How do we do this? Follow division. Now 34 divided by 12, which also means how many times with 12 we walk through 34 alive. If there's any remainder, we add it to the next number. So 12 in 34, if you look at 12 times 1 is 12, 12 times 2 is 24. 12 times 3 will be 36, and that will be more than 34. So we can only go for 12 times 2, which is what? Which is 24. So 12 in 34, we go only twice. Now we'll move to the next level, which is what? Multiplication. Now 12 times 2 will give us 24. Now the next step is what? Subtraction. So 34 minus 24 will give us what? Will give us 10. Now the next step says what? Bring the next number down, which is what? Which is 5. Let's take it easy peasy. Now by so doing, we say 12 in 105, but 12 cannot go in 10. Now 12 in 105. Now in this case, you need to maneuver your numbers carefully. Now you can now see how many times can 12 go in 105. You can maneuver by saying, 12 times 10 will give us 120. So that will be too much. You can say 12 times 8. I can try my 12 times 8. 8 times 2 is 16. My 6, I keep my 1. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 1, 9. Now if you look at it this way, I think this is the closest that we can have. But if we look at 12 times 9, it will give us more than what we should have. But let's look at 12 times 9 to clear our doubt. Now let's look at 12 times 9. 12 times 9. Now 9 times 2 is what? 18. Write your 8, keep your 1 here. Now 9 times 1 plus this will give you what? Will give you 10. So it's 108 is more than what we're looking for here. So what do we need to do? The basic thing we need to do is what? Is to go with 8. So that means 12 in 105 we go 8 times. And let's go for the multiplication. Having it here makes it easy for us now. Then we say 12 times 8 will give us 96. Now, another thing that you need to master is to always make sure when your child is solving this, or when you as a fellow is solving this, even as a teacher, as a parent, make sure that you arrange those numbers under their place values. Make sure you arrange them under their place values for orderliness, and so that it will not affect your final answer. Now let's look at this. Now 105, the next thing to follow is subtraction. 105 minus 96. Now, of course, we say 105 minus 96 will give us what? That will give us absolutely 9. Now, we can't do anything about this 9. That is about the remainder. So that means our answer, so 345 divided by 12, the quotient with what? Will be 28. Then the remainder can be represented with R by R. Then you put your 9. That is what 28, remainder 9. So let's continue by taking the second example. Still looking at, you are just joining us. This is still our work on division, especially long division of 3 digits by 2 digits, now with remainders. Now we've talked about division as a fundamental mathematical operation that involves splitting numbers or items into groups. We base them in groups. And we have looked at the first part, which is what? Dividing 3 digits by 2 digits without remainders. Now we are moving to what? Solving it with remainders. Now let's look at this now. The next example you're giving. Let's solve this together. All right. Thank you for staying with us. You're doing well. Let's continue. Now, the second example is 415. Do not forget, we said the bigger number to be shared is a dividend. The number you use in sharing or splitting that particular number is a divisor, while the resultant effect of the splitting, that is the answer, is called the quotient. So we have 415 as our dividend to be divided by the divisor 14. Then let's look for the quotient together. All right, so we take it easy peasy. The first thing to do also is to follow our DMSB. Now we divide. Now, how many times can 14 go in 41? That is the first thing you need to ask yourself. How many times will 14 go in 41? Now you can try and add over numbers. Now 14, try 14 times 3 will give us what? We are looking for a number that is closest to 41. We have numbers that are close, we have those that are closer, but we are looking for the closest. Now 14 times 3, let's say 4 times 3 is 12, we have 2, 3 times 1 is what? Is 3, so it's 12, there's 1 here, then 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 give us 4. Now automatically this is more than 41, it can't work for us, so sorry, we can only use 2. So 14 times 2 will give us what? 28. So 14 in 41 we go 2 times. Then we follow the next step, which is multiplication. Now we say 14 times this quotient 2 will give us 28. The next thing to do is to subtract. So let's do this now. 41 minus 28 will give us what? Now we can take it one by one so that you don't model it together. Okay? Now if you look at 1, take away 8 is not possible. As usual, you can take 1 from here. Don't forget, no, this remains 3 automatically. Now 11 take away 3, we take away 8 will give you 3. Beg your pardon. 3 take away 2 will give you 13. Now that will give you 1, so making 13. What is the next thing to do? You bring down the next number, which is 5. Now we take it again. 14 and 13 cannot go, so we take the 3 numbers together. How many times will 14 go in 135? If we say 14 times 10, my crystal ball is telling me 14 times 10 will give us 140. It's more than what we are looking for. You see, your ability for children to be able to think spontaneously helps this work. And that is why when children are well built, especially in multiplication, it helps a lot. It helps them to rationalize. So let's look at this. I know you're also thinking along with me. So let's do this together. Now, when we say 14 times 10 will give us 140, and we know that the number here is 135. So what do? We take it a little bit lesser. So let's try 14 times what? Times 9. Now 9 times 4 will give us 36. We add our 6, keep our 3 here. Now 9 times 1 will give us 9. Then 9 plus 3 will give us 12. So this is the closest number. So which means 14 in 135 will give us 9. Easy peasy, isn't it? Now let's continue. Now we'll follow the next step, which is to do what? Which is to multiply. So 14 times 9, we've already done that here now. Let's not forget. is giving us 126. Then we subtract. Now, how many times can 6 go in 5? Impossible. Take 1 from here. This guy remains 2. Now, 15 take away 6 will give us 9. 2 take away 2 will give us 0. 1 take away 1 will give us 0. So that means we are left with what? With 9. So automatically, our answer is what? Equals to what? 1, it starts 29. Remainder what? Remainder 9. So stay with me. I still solve the next two because why I'm doing that is because I discover children often have problem with this division with remainders. So that is why we're going to demystify these together. You can grab some snacks, you can grab popcorn while we're using these together. Welcome and let's solve this together. So we're going for example 3. Using same method, example 3. Bring this down, bring this down. Now we'll take our dividend for question 3, which is 482. Then our divisor is 15. Then we have to divide. First in DMSB. Get it up. DMSB, DMSB. D for division, M for multiplication, S for subtraction, then B for bring down the next number. That is, if there is any number to bring down. So let's go to the next one. Now, 15 in 48. How many times can 15 go in 48? Of course, my crystal ball is telling me 15 times 1 is 15, 15 times 2 is 30, 15 times 3 is 45. So 15 will go in 48 3 times. Then I move to the next step, which is multiplication. That is the divisor to multiply the quotient, which we have got here. Now 15 times 3 will give us 45. And the next step is what? Subtraction. Then we say 48 take away 45. Then our answer will be what? Our answer will be 3. Then the next step is to bring down because there's a number to be brought down, and that is 2. Then let's ask ourselves 15 in 32. How many times will 15 go in 32? My crystal ball tells me that 15 times 1 is 15, 15 times 2 is 30. If I'm going for 15 times 3, it will be more than this. So I'll just stay with 15 times 2. So 15 in 32, we go to times. What is next to do is multiplication. So 15 times 2 will give me what? Will give me 30. Then subtract 32, take away 30 will give us 2. So automatically, our answer equals to what? 32. Remainder what? Remainder 2. Easy peasy, isn't it? Now let's go to the fourth one. Thanks for watching. Let's solve these together. Okay. Now number 4. Okay, we have the dividend 950. Okay. Yeah. Then we have the divisor 35. Okay. Now let's take it easy peasy. How do we solve this now? Let's follow the order as we have started with. The next thing to do is to take our DMSB, our division first. So having our division, we say 35 in 95. How many times will 35 go in 95? Somebody will say, "Ooh, this is very huge." It's huge, but it is surmountable, something that we can do. Let us manipulate and maneuver these numbers. 35 times 1 is 35. I know 35 times 2 will give me 70. So 35 times 3 will give me what is more than 95. Well, let's do it together. So if you have 35, let's say 35 times 3, of course, we know 3 times 5 is 15. Write your 5, keep your 1. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 will give you 10. So 105 is more than 95. So we won't be able to won't be using this. Right, won't be using this. So we'll move to the next one, which is 35 and 95. We will go twice. Then let's go for the multiplication. 35 times 2 will give us 70. Now, what do we do next now? We subtract. Now, 95 take away 70 will give us what? 5 take away 0 will still give us 5. The 9 take away 7 will give us 2. What do we do? Bring down the next number, which is 0. Voila. Now let's go. 35 and 250. Somebody will say, why this big number again? Why are we always getting big numbers, big numbers? We got to work with that, please. Now let's dive into this together. All right. Now, like I said before, we have to maneuver numbers to be able to arrive at that level. If I say 35 times 10, that will absolutely give me 350. So I just need to beat it down a bit. So let me try. You can say, you can say 35. Let's try 35 times 7. Maybe I can get something that is the closest number to 250. Now, 7 times 5 will give me 35. I keep my 5. I write my 3 here. Then 7 times 3 is 21. Then 21 plus 3 will give me what? 24. Can you see that? That is the closest you can get to 250, which means that what? 35 in 250 will absolutely go 7 times. So The next thing to do is to go for my multiplication. So I'll say 35 times 7, that has been sorted out here. So 35 times 7 will give me 245. The next step is what? Is to subtract. So 250, let me take it easy peasy. 0, 5, 0, take away 5 is not possible. Take 1 from here, this remains 4. 10, take away 5 will give me 5. 4 minus 4 will give me 0. 2 minus 2 will give me 0. So easy peasy, I know that is the quotient of 950 divided by 35 is 27 remainder what? Remainder 5. These and many more are steps to follow to solve division of numbers, especially long division of 3 digits by 1 digit, 3 digits by 2. Next time, it's bye for now.